And that was Emotions by the Bee Gees. You are listening to Calm FM with Cassandra and
Deborah.
Tonight's topic is all about the guidelines to emotional intelligence. We are joined by Rabel Jatoy, a healthcare worker. So emotional intelligence, what is it?
A skill to understand your own emotional and be sensitive to others' emotions. As some may say, emotions shape our communication, and communication is to share our feelings.
Actually, it has been shown that emotional intelligence positively supports patients when dealing with health conflict management.
There's not one universal method to improve on emotional intelligence, but there are a few guidelines. So, number 1.
Recognizing your emotions. Well, it's to be aware of signs to your feelings.
We experience emotion both physiologically and psychologically. Physiological changes are like when you're nervous and your heartbeat raises, and nonverbal behavior would be like when you're distinctive facial expressions and gestures and postures.
So verbal expression would be just saying it out loud, how you feel.
Not that easy. There are patients out there who are effectively oriented. They have no problem being aware of their emotional state, and they make use of it to make their important decisions. On the other hand, there are patients who tend to regret their feelings and think of them as useless information. So as a healthcare professional, sometimes utilizing the physiological changes and the nonverbal behaviors is the only way to detect their patient's emotions.
Good points. Now number 2, expanding your emotional vocabulary. So, Deborah, how are you feeling?
What? Why all of a sudden?
Just answer the question.
I'm fine.
What is really fine?
Fine is fine.
Well, fine doesn't tell me anything. Many people suffer from impoverished emotional vocabularies and unknowingly express their feelings with emotional counterfeits. According to the textbook, Looking In and Looking Out, counterfeits are conversations that may seem like it's conveying an emotional statement, but actually it contains no emotional values at all. Take this for example. Deborah, I feel like we've been seeing too much of each other. The proper meaning of the statement should have been, I think we've been seeing too much of each other, and I feel confined.
Oh, so simply adding a genuine word of feelings have given your statement emotional content.
Yeah. So, number 3, share multiple feelings.
I have heard of few incidences where doctors become so frustrated of the patient's conditions, they start showing their anger to other staff such as nurses and lab techs.
So the doctor is experiencing multiple feelings and impose the most negative feelings to the other staff. And this confuses the other healthcare staff because they don't get the whole picture of his emotion.
Exactly.
Number 4, consider when and where to express your feelings. Anyone can become angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person at the right time for the right purpose, that's the hard part.
Read the mood. There are times when it's wise to share your feelings, but there are times where you shouldn't.
Imagine you woke up in the middle of the night by the sound of your noisy neighbors, and you are angry, obviously. So if the neighbor sees you angry, they'll become angry too, and that's the process called emotional contagion.
Emotional contagion is where the emotion of one person is transferred to another.
In hospital settings, nurses' behaviors can be contagious to the patient.
Number 5, accepting your responsibility for your feelings. Just as you are responsible for your action, you are responsible for controlling your emotions. There's 2 types of emotion: facilitative, which can contribute to effective functions, and debilitative emotion, which distract you from effective functions. The difference between the 2 emotions is only by their intensity and their duration. So, taking this as an example, a small, short duration of anger can strive you to improve. But intensified angers can become rage, and then it can become unproductive.
So, to eliminate the debilitative emotion involves practicing the guidelines we have been talking about. Healthcare provider may suggest the following methods in handling the debilitative emotion. Firstly, monitor your emotion reactions. Note the activating event, record your self-talk, and rephrase your rational belief.
Number 6, recognizing the difference between feeling, talking, and acting. So just because feeling, talking, and acting goes together, it doesn't necessarily require you to always talk about emotion.
Well, to correlate that to healthcare perspective, for example, let's say as a lab technician, you can't share your patient results with anyone, even if you feel sympathize with the results.
And that's all for tonight. Join us next week as we talk about a new topic.